Hey everybody, Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. I'm being joined by good old JM Jeff Meacham here on the car ride home from Wrestlemania. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Just wish it'd been a better show, honestly.
Yeah, so we've been talking in the car, and I figured we'd just do a little audio recording here and just get some of our thoughts expressed regarding Wrestlemania and the state of WWE. Just add to what we already recorded with Wade earlier tonight.
And what our Periscope earlier.
Yeah, so
we've been recording like crazy tonight.
I mean, both Jeff and I feel really frustrated about WrestleMania and the future of WWE. I just felt that after WrestleMania, there's no real direction for the company. I feel like it's just status quo, as Jeff put it earlier. I feel that there's nothing really to look forward to week on Raw or SmackDown. I feel that the production in WWE is great. I feel the writing is terrible. It's a great production, great roster, terrible writing and storytelling. Would you agree, Jeff?
WWE has touted itself, I use the word tout there, for the longest time as the greatest show on earth, comparing itself to Ringling Brothers, Bar and Bailey Circus, okay? The problem is, like you said, the production value is great. Their production is second to none. They have quality TV studios, they have quality production trucks, all kinds of shit that put the shows together. But when they come to the writing table, it's awful.
Yeah.
There's no real... I've said this since Seth Rollins got hurt. From the moment he went down, the production, the writing team has lost their damn minds. Survivor Series was awful, and it's been a shit-tastic parade ever since.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, are we just getting too old for professional wrestling? I mean, this is something that's geared towards kids, and I think WWE does tend to gear towards an audience that isn't all that sophisticated. I feel like they could do so much better with the writing, and with WrestleMania, I just think they missed the mark with the finishes, and I felt WrestleMania should have been a showcase for the new talent. You look at AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. How hard would have it been to just do 4 matches and then have the 5th match, the best out of 5, end at WrestleMania with AJ winning? WrestleMania is the show that people remember, and the first impressions are everything, as they say. And AJ losing at WrestleMania, it did not have to happen like that.
No. AJ Styles, with all respect to everybody that works in Ring of Honor right now, everybody that works in Japan right now, AJ Styles, in my humble opinion, is the best pound-for-pound professional wrestler on the planet right now. And for him to lose his debut match at WrestleMania is atrocious booking. There is no freaking reason, like you said, Aaron, that they couldn't have gone 4 matches prior between Royal Rumble and now and built up to a best-of-5 finish on the grand stage.
Exactly. And speaking of missing the mark, I mean, with Sasha Banks and the triple threat match, I've been talking about this for the longest time. It just felt like the right time to do the title change and go with Sasha Banks. She had Snoop Dogg there with her. All the publicity on MTV they would have gotten. Charlotte had a very lengthy run as champion since what? October?
September.
Yeah, she had a long run as champion. I think this was the time for the title switch on the big show when everybody's watching. You crown a new champion, you make a new star to bring in the whole new era of the women's division in WWE.
Well, I just finished reading the article that Stephanie McMahon wrote on the website that she posted it to, and it's retweeted by Joey Styles on Twitter, and I retweeted it myself. It's a great article about the evolution of the women's division in the last 6 years, or 8 years.
Yeah.
Since the Divas division was branded that in 2008. I feel that they have done everything right from the minute NXT Arrival broadcast in 2014. The NXT division, women's division, is second to none in women's wrestling. And it's better than anything I've ever seen. And when they called up these 3 girls, they were booked solidly. And Charlotte won the championship in September. I do agree with you, Aaron, though, that they missed the mark not having the cousin of the newest WWE Hall of Fame inductee in the Celebrity Wing, who walked out to the ring with her, by the way, win the championship. I will say, though, that I think the reason they kept the championship, or the new championship, awarded to Charlotte is because they're trying to maybe keep the brand title on the brand name with the Flair last name. Maybe they're trying to appease the Nature Boy.
That's possible.
That's my hunch. Why else would you deny either Charlotte or Becky their moment in the sun after all this time of build-up?
Yeah. And I'm not sure the deal with Zack Ryder winning the IC title. Maybe they purposely wanted me to lose the beard. I don't know. But that match should have been the showcase for either Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. And one would think those two would continue to feud after WrestleMania. Zack Ryder winning, it came out of left field. Yes, it was a surprise, but Zack Ryder had his run. It's 4 years too late. I'm glad he got his moment, but I felt it should have been the moment for Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens.
It's my personal belief they watched No DQ A and V. No DQ A and V. No DQ and AV. There we go. I can't talk. And they found out you were going to shave your beard if you won.
Yeah.
That's why else would you book Zack Ryder to win that match? That match should have been the showcase of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Or just to throw everybody off. I think that was the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this stopped.
No, it's going.
Oh, it's going.
It's going. We're good.
Sorry about that little technical glitch right there.
The phone cut out on us. That's okay. We're still on the air. It's all good. Yeah, I don't see a reason to book Zack Ryder as the champion.
Yeah. It really... The only reason, I guess, is to just do a shot, but... I would be shocked if he's going to be a long-term champion.
Do you think they'll pull a Miz from a few years ago and have him lose tomorrow?
Could happen.
I mean, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, the whole product makes no sense, so I'm not watching anymore.
And the U.S. title being in the pre-show match, I mean, that match...
Think about that. A year ago, Cena-Rusev was a headline match.
Yeah.
It was about the U.S. Championship and liberated it from the evil Russian sympathizer. And now it's a throwaway match on the goddamn first match of the night.
Yeah, they want to make Kalisto the new Rey Mysterio, yet they throw that match, a title match, on the pre-show with no purpose.
I've made no mistake of hiding my dislike of Rey Mysterio's push. But you cannot deny Rey Mysterio's talent.
Yeah.
And Kalisto will never be Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry, he won't be.
I mean, he's an entertaining performer, but if you're going to go with him as the champion, then you should showcase him more.
And honest to God, with the way they booked the Battle Royal, that could have been on the pre-show. And put the U.S. title on the main show.
Yeah, I mean, the Battle Royal was more or less a comedy match. I mean, it was nice for Baron Corbin to win. I think some people feel that maybe there was a more deserving NXT star to win. I know some people like Baron Corbin. That was really the only good booking decision, one of the few good booking decisions on this pay-per-view, because he was the one guy that actually did get showcased who could potentially be a future superstar. I'm
personally a fan of Baron Corbin. I've liked him from the very beginning. My son likes him, and I honestly think that the reason he lost on Friday was they were going to put him in this match tonight. And he got the rub. He got the win. So good for him. Hopefully it builds to something.
And what about the New Day? I mean, the New Day is practically the hottest act in the company, and they're losing to the League of Nations just so League of Nations can put over the stars of the past.
Yeah, that was the most nonsensical. You and I have hosted many a show in the last 6 months, and I've not been quiet about my dislike of the New Day, okay? But they deserve to go over tonight, and they did it.
Yeah, I mean, why not just have New Day versus another tag team at WrestleMania, and then have the League of Nations come out for a promo just complaining about not getting a match, and they want to challenge somebody, and that's when you have the legends come out.
Why not steal Jet Meacham's idea?
Yeah.
And instead of Social Outcasts, have the League of Nations do the legend story.
Exactly.
Just saying.
I mean, this seems like such easy booking, and they do not do that. But my guess is they do not care. They grossed what, $17 million in live gate for WrestleMania. They broke the attendance record.
Well, it depends how truly close to the Wembley mark they were.
Yeah.
Because Alvarez was saying 85.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they legitimately broke the Wembley Stadium number.
Which is fine, but 101,000 was bullshit.
Yeah, so...
There's no way.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm just very frustrated because it feels like it's just going to be the same WWE now that WrestleMania is over. And I was really hoping for something to go down that would just get everybody invested in what is going to happen next. And we know what's going to happen next. Roman Reigns on top, the new John Cena. Eventually we'll see Cena versus Roman Reigns, Superman versus Superman. Everybody kicks out of each other's finishers. Same routine.
Now, I mentioned on Periscope, and I mentioned in the comment way that I was going to take a break. But hindsight, thinking about the last few minutes, I'm probably going to make sure that I keep my ear out when my dad's watching Raw Monday nights and come in for the women's matches. Because I still have hope for that division.
Yeah.
But the male superstar booking is leaving me completely dumbfounded. I had no reason to watch.
It's just the writing is so lazy. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, they put no effort into the creative process. I mean, they just... I think they literally just go in the back, take some darts, and throw it at the wall.
Isn't Ranjin Singh still the lead writer?
I have no idea, but... when it comes to Roman Reigns, they have their plan, and they're going to stick to it at all costs because he is their guy. He is their franchise player, in their opinion, and whatever.
It's very sad when a guy who spends more time in his office during the week than he does on the road is the world champion, the heel, the bad guy, and he's getting universally cheered over your supposed top guy, your supposed Superman.
Right, and that match was just a complete disaster, and they should have known better.
Yep.
I mean, it was basically a repeat of WrestleMania 18 and WrestleMania 25. Triple H going out there at the end, and nobody really caring about the match.
Yep. Well, the problem with 18, and I stand full behind Chris Jericho on this. I read his books. That match became about the Triple H Stephanie show.
Yeah.
It was not about the world title anymore. Which is bullshit, because Jericho busted his ass for 3 months and was shit on the entire reign. 25, that wasn't Hunter's fault. They booked that match where it could not have been anything more than a no-holds-barred match, and they booked the champion into a corner.
Yeah. They
booked Triple H to say if he has to resort to violence, he'll get disqualified and lose the title. They totally shit-faced him. This year, he's on the committee, if you want to call it that. He's on the booking team. He's helping to book this shit. He should have known better too.
Yeah. And to wrap this up, I think back to the Attitude Era, and maybe we're spoiled that we grew up on the Golden Era and the Attitude Era. I just feel that at least during the Attitude Era, there was a reason to tune in from week to week. There was storytelling. I mean, granted, a lot of it was Russo. It was illogical at times, and they would just do random things. But at least there were stories. And now there's just no storylines. And WWE is all about entertainment. And sometimes wrestling is almost secondary. But they do not put in the effort when it comes to the storytelling anymore. That is really the one thing that is really hurting WWE.
You've admitted to me you're not a full-time NXT watcher.
Right.
I guarantee you, if you plant yourself in front of the computer, in front of the Roku, at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, you'll be more captivated by that hour broadcast than you have been the last 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great show, but I mean, I really want to see WWE thrive even more and do something that will just generate a huge buzz. I'm running a business here. And when CM Punk did that pipe bomb, my site crashed from the traffic.
I was in Vegas when he did that, and Aaron called me going, literally his quote was, "What the fuck is going on up there?"
I want something like that. I want something that just gets everybody all up in a big huff. And I want this to happen on a regular basis, and I feel it's not that hard.
Do you feel, speaking of CM Punk, do you feel that his departure is part of the problem? Because so many people were pissed off at that?
Yeah, and I think people believe what CM Punk said was the truth. You know, everything he said about Vince and Triple H, I think people believe that is reality.
Do you think it's reality?
I think maybe to a degree. I think that Vince obviously is running a very successful business, and I do feel, though, that he may be out of touch. Triple H, I think he knows what he's doing for the most part. I mean, like I said, WrestleMania, from a production standpoint, was incredible.
Yes.
The wrestling was incredible. The roster is arguably the best it's ever been.
It was the finishes that failed to deliver.
Yeah, and that is due to the people in charge of coming up with the finishes and the writing team really not knowing where they want to take all of this.
Think about this. Think about this for a second, Aaron. In 1989, the WWF was cooking with gas. They were running all cylinders. But if you turn to TBS, if you turn to pay-per-views every few months, WCW had a better in-ring product. By and large. That's because the people coming up with the finishes were the wrestlers in the ring. Flair, Steamboat, Sting, the Great Muta, people like that were coming up with the finishes in the ring.
Right.
In the WWF, they have the writing team. And then look what happened in WCW in 98, 99, 2001. You had, everybody had creative control. The wrestlers that were out of date by then, and they tried to put a writing team together, and they booked themselves into oblivion.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing now. The WWE is trying, it seems like they're trying to book themselves into oblivion. The problem is, they never will. Because they are still, no matter how much their product sucks balls, they're always going to be the #1 sports entertainment professional wrestling company on the planet.
Right, and because
they're always going to draw money, they're always going to draw a crowd. It doesn't matter if they have, you know, the worst roster, the best talent, the worst talent. They are still the league.
And then they're a machine because they are such a dominant force, and there's nobody even close to them. It's always going to be like that.
And the problem is, Vince is successful in spite of himself.
Yeah.
Vince had the cojones to book WrestleMania in '85 against all odds, betting his house, literally betting his house. And it worked. And he believes, because he had the balls to do that and go there and book that show and be successful, that he can do no wrong.
Right.
He refuses to see that there is a dark side to success. And for the longest time, we have all talked ourselves into believing that Triple H was the future. That Triple H was going to be the one to turn the company around and to save the company and to book the company like he's booked NXT the last 2 years. And it's just not the case. Because he's part of the problem too now. There was no reason for him to be the world champion since the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, to WWE's defense, they had the injuries and they had to change plans, but a good writing team would be able to figure something out. The problem is that the writing team books themselves into a corner so many times. I mean, look at Ambrose and Lesnar. Ambrose did not need to be losing again. He needed a win badly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Brock should not be losing. He's the second highest paid guy in the company next to John Cena.
Yep.
This match really should not have happened in the first place, but the writers booked themselves into a corner, and they had to go with that. But at the end of the day, one of the guys ends up looking weak, and that was Dean Ambrose.
Well, I don't know if he looked weak, only because it took an F5 onto a pile of chairs after a serious beatdown
But the thing
for him
is,
to lose.
The thing is, everybody expected Lesnar to win. I mean,
I didn't.
We were, you know, the smart fans were expecting interference from the Wyatt family, but I think your casual viewer doesn't see Ambrose as having a chance, and that's how the storyline was being told. In the storyline, Dean Ambrose had no chance.
Well, the thing is, he didn't have a chance, which is why Mick Foley armed him with a weapon, which is why Terry Funk armed him with a weapon. They sent these legends, these hardcore legends in to build Ambrose up, to help him get motivation, and then he tried to use both of their weapons and it fell flat.
Yep.
That was stupid booking.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think I would have done that match. If you do not want either guy to lose.
Well, the problem is the match they had going was Wyatt and Lesnar, and Wyatt got hurt too.
Yeah, I know. Well, he wasn't hurt for that long, but...
Well, but he was hurt enough where they couldn't book him in the match in case he was hurt worse.
Yeah.
So, again, they booked themselves into a corner with one match, and they had to scramble.
Yeah, and, they booked these matches not thinking that, the goal should always be to try to come up with a finish that's going to satisfy the majority of people and also protect both guys. If you're booking a finish where somebody is going to look weak, then it's not really good storytelling. With NXT, I mean, with that TakeOver show, even the people that lost looked strong in defeat.
Yeah, look how strong Joe looked. He got bloodied within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he kept getting angry at the doctor trying to clean him up because he was being that much of a badass. And he lost, but it took a serious comeback by Balor to get that win. Look at Baron Corbin. He loses on Friday and wins on Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at, look at the Revival and American Alpha. That was the best tag team match I've seen in the last 10 years. Easy.
Now that's a pretty bold statement.
I'm just saying. Those four guys came in there and kicked some serious ass on a grand stage. And God bless them for it. I have been a fan of all four of those guys from the beginning. And they impressed the shit out of me on Friday night. Well, Saturday morning, that's when I watched it. I was out Friday night. Much to my fans' chagrin. But, everything with NXT, top to bottom, front to back, delivered.
Yeah, it did.
And WrestleMania did not. And I said, if WrestleMania didn't deliver, that I was going to step away for a little while. And I may just stick to it, except for the women's division. Because I was not enticed to tune in tomorrow night for 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I have to keep watching it because it's my job.
It's your job, yeah.
But, I mean, for people that ask me, is WWE going to be going in a positive direction? Are we going to see something different? I am not expecting it. I think it's going to be more of the same for the rest of 2016 until they actually bring in some new writers and somebody is able to get some new ideas out there, and whoever's in charge, whether it's Vince or Triple H, they go along with it. I mean, I also think that there's probably some fear. People are afraid of getting Vince upset, and they do not speak out enough about ideas because they're afraid Vince will say they're stupid or shoot them down or whatever. So it could be that too, that people are just intimidated by Vince, and that's why we never see anything really outside the box in terms of WWE storytelling.
Well, that has been the problem the last 15 years. The one company to really stand up and take a stand against Vince McMahon and his evil empire was squashed like a bug within 3 weeks. TNA. They had Hogan, Bischoff, and Russo going to bat against Vince, and they still lost. They got killed immediately.
Well, they lost before. How would they win again? I mean, Well, no.
Okay. Hang on.
We could do a whole video about this.
No.
Whole audio. I forgot. I'm used to doing the video.
That's okay. No. Okay. TNA's product, when we went in 2004, with the exception of the main event, that was awful. The rest of that show was some of the best I've ever seen live.
A lot of people would say, NXT right now is what TNA should have been the whole time.
Well, TNA was that way for a long time. They just couldn't get enough of a groundswell. The problem is, and you're going to be all laughing, there's not enough Gilbertos in the world. There's not enough people that'll jump on that wagon and pull that wagon to the promised land.
The TNA's marketing was just terrible.
TNA's marketing was really terrible, and they didn't have any... The problem is, they were very WCW-esque in that they had a lot of non-wrestling people running the wrestling company.
Right.
Once Jarrett got phased out, that was it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've said our piece here.
I think so.
I think we had a good discussion here. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. You can follow Jeff at twitter.com/_Jeff Meacham. I'm not sure how good the quality of the audio is. We're in the car right now, but hopefully it was good enough for you guys and you were able to hear us for the most part. Thanks for tuning in and listening, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest.